All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Anthony with Glory Days Gaming, aka Bleacher Bums Gaming, and we are here first of all for a live fight, the inaugural fight of the Glory Days Boxing Association, and I will give you a quick update on that as we get started. A couple of guys in the chat, ID Jester and Lazy Warlock. Welcome, welcome. Hope you all are having a great Sunday. So let me adjust these. The Glory Days Boxing Association Career League is basically a house rule I've made to be able to fight, as it says, a career option with the game. So the way I do it, the first 41 fighters based on debut year are included in this league to start. They're broken up into three groups. The bottom 20, which are fighters that debut toward the end of the cycle, middle 20, middle, and of course the first 10 are the oldest fighters, some of them debuting in the mid 1800s, guys like George Godfrey, John L. Sullivan, Joe Goss, etc. So the way this will work, Bill Simone, hi, welcome. Max Cornelius, Don Heston, and Mr. Molly 55, welcome everybody. So the way this works, and I'll just show you real quick, and then we'll get on to the fight and the most important part, the giveaway. So these are the 41 fighters that are in my universe, I guess you can say. And currently they're ranked just by debut year. The inaugural champion is George Godfrey, nicknamed Old Chocolate, one of the first great African-American boxers. And then the top 10, and again, this was just based on debut year. This will change once we start having fights. Currently, their ranking points, 15 for the 1 through 11 spots, 7 up to the 20th spot, and then everyone else has a 0. But you can see here down at the bottom, there are some very good fighters who are new, quote, to this universe. Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano was the last one to make the cut. The Cincinnati Cobra, Ezra Charles, Max Schmeling, Tunney Dempsey, Primo Carnera, they are all there. So the way this will work to get our initial matchup, and Slybell, welcome, welcome, Michael. The way this will work to get our initial matchup is it will come from the bottom group. This will be a 10-round fight, and I'm going to roll a 1d20, which came up a 6. So we will take the 6th fighter, which is Gene Tunney, not a bad way to start. A roll a 1d6 again, a 2, and he will fight a fighter 2 spots above him in the rankings, which comes out to be Luther McCarthy. And McCarthy was one of the tragedies of the ring. He actually was on the verge of a title shot against Jack Johnson and was tragically died after a fight with Arthur Pelkey, even though the injuries did not come from that fight. It came from a fall he sustained from a horse, or falling off a horse about a week or so before the fight. And I did a vlog on McCarthy, if you want to check that out on the channel. Again, a very sad story, and a fighter that actually was one of the more promising from that time period. So we're going to get right to the action. And before we do start the fight, I want to go over the strategy cards. I know I mentioned that in a previous video. I just want to get situated here first off. There we go. All right, so we're squared away, and the strategy cards, which I will be releasing as a free download, a free edition later. Just to go over some of them, the 2 types of strategy, a flash strategy, and this is probably hard to see. Flash strategy, which you can play at any time during the fight, and it's usually after a certain occurrence or before a certain occurrence. And then a round strategy, which is applied at the beginning of a round and plays throughout the entire round. And of course, strategies all have consequences. So for every reaction, there's an equal reaction. So you can see, we'll just look at the round strategy here. Let's go with keep your distance. So this is a defensive strategy. Opponent's power is reduced to 1 for the round the card is used, and the effect it has on the fighter using the strategy It reduces his power also to 1, and because it's a defensive mode strategy, deduct 1 from all punches landed, and it results in the entire round. So that keeps you out of danger and also neuters your offense. A look at the flash strategy, which can be played at any time during the round. And we'll go with, I'll turn it up here. Turn it up is a strategy that would be used toward the end of a close round if you wanted to get some extra punches landed in at the end, possibly steal the round. And the result there is add 3 to the number of punches landed, and that is played after punches land. So that's a reaction to you landing punches. No matter how many it is, you would add 3 to it. The effect is this exerts excessive energy, and your stamina is going to be reduced by an additional 5 points at the end of the round. So that is a real brief look at the strategies. Again, the flash strategy can be played at any point during the round, and a round strategy played at the beginning. So we had actually 22 folks entered for this drawing, and I've got my Memorial Burt Sugar hat here, and I actually wear that. So I'm going to throw the names in there, and we will draw those after this fight. There you see them all in there. And one thing I did want to mention, it came up, the printed set giveaway, unfortunately, is only for folks in the continental United States. There are a couple of people from the UK entered, and if they are drawn, they will actually win a PDF version of the fight. And to make up for the fact that I may not have been clear about that when I announced it, if you are a UK winner and win the PDF version of the game, you will also get a free PDF version of the lightweight set when that is released, to make up for that possible lack of explanation there. So that's out of the way. Let's get to this fight. Gene Tunney and Luther McCarty, these two have never met in Glory Days boxing. This will be a 10-round bout. An interesting fight. Tunney, of course, is a master boxer, one of the better heavyweight boxers. Only one loss, and that was to the great Harry Greb at light heavyweight. Never lost as a heavyweight, and of course defeated Jack Dempsey the second time in that infamous lawn count battle. So this should be a good test or a good display of Tunney's skills. McCarty, though skilled, does not have any of the traits. He has a lot less ring general stars than Tunney. Definitely not as good a defensive fighter. And not as good offensively as well. So McCarty's got his work cut out for him, but he should still give a reasonably good showing, I would imagine. We're going to get ready and get underway in just 1 second. All right, bell time, and we are ready to go. Derek Dodgers, Royals fan, welcome, welcome. And you are in the drawing as well, my friend. Let's go. So Tunney in the red corner, he's going to start with 2 stars from the outside, 2 stars from the outside for McCarty. They're going to exchange blows to start this fight. So Tunney goes first. Tunney would have been a potential knockdown, but he's going to miss. McCarty fires back. And 0-7 from the outside, big shots to the head and body, 4 punches landed. So McCarty jumps out on top early in this fight. He has momentum going into the second segment of the round. From the outside, 1 star for Tunney, 1 star inside for McCarty. They're going to go toe-to-toe. McCarty first from the inside. And a 0-9, McCarty gets off to a great start. Another 4-punch salvo gets through. Tunney looking to shake off the rust here, and that is going to be a single punch land and a possible foul, 5, just above Tunney's foul rating. So we'll move on to segment 3, no foul there. Al, Red Sox fan, welcome, my friend, just getting underway. So Tunney on the inside, 2 stars, no stars on the inside for McCarty, or 1 star inside for McCarty. So Tunney finally has control for the first time in this fight, and 26 peppers a jab, then across, 3 punches land. McCarty's defensive check and a 7, not going to affect the outcome there. On to segment number 4. And again, this is going to be Tunney from the inside with offensive control. And Tunney, much more effective from the outside, does not get on the inside much, but working it well thus far as a brisk jab, snaps back the head, a couple of punches landed, and a possible cut. So McCarty, he has a cut rating of 5 and no cut there. On to segment 5 of round number 1. And McCarty's still with a slight lead here with punches landed. Tunney goes from the inside, as does McCarty. Tunney's still in control, 2 stars to 1. 18 from the inside, dances in and out, firing away. 4 punches landed for Tunney. McCarty's defensive check, a 3, and he's going to add a punch to that. So Tunney, after getting blitzed the first 40 seconds of this fight, has settled down, now peppering McCarty as we go. D. Scott Howard, welcome to the chat, the fight, my friend. Tunney now is from the outside, a single star, and McCarty has 2 stars from the outside, so he's going to take back control. And 0-4, it's going to be a possible cut to Tunney and big shots to the head and body. 4 punches land from McCarty. And Tunney, he has a 4 rating of a cut. He's okay. We move to the final minute of the first round. And Tunney gets 2 stars on the inside. Tunney fighting an inordinately high amount of times from the inside, 95. Going to be a potential foul again. And Tunney does not foul, so he gets credit for a single punch. Moving to the final 40 seconds of the opening round. Once again, Tunney living on the inside, as is McCarty. Tunney has control, though, 2 stars to 1. And a possible knockdown, 0-4. Dances in and out, firing away. 4 punches landed for Tunney. And McCarty, his chin is a 3. He shakes that off and smiles as we move to the final 20 seconds of the round. Tunney now finding his range, and he is doing an effective job keeping McCarty at bay. Outside, 3 stars, and McCarty cannot top that, so Tunney's going to finish the round in style from the outside. 80, he's going to miss, however, and a chance to counter. McCarty does not. Round is over. So an exciting first round, actually quite a few punches landed. 16-12 is the final tally. Tunney with the advantage there. And stamina, Tunney had 90 coming into this fight. Tunney also has the counterpoint trait, I should mention. So when he does land a counter shot, it will be +1 to all punches that land. McCarty has no traits, and his stamina coming in is 75. So going into round 2, McCarty will be 59 stamina and Tunney 78. Let's see what our judges do. Just using generic judges in this one. And Jonah Oliver, welcome to the chat. 19, so there's a 4-point punch differential. Judge 1's going to call that even. Second judge goes to Tunney, as does a third. So Tunney tends across the board. And like I said, judge number 1 saw that even, so on to round number 2. So very competitive first round. Let's see if they can keep that up. Round 2 underway, and Tunney from the outside, that 3 stars, and again, that's going to be an auto for him. 33 from the outside, and peppers a jab and across. 3 punches land. McCarty looking to counter, cannot do it. On to segment 2. Inside 2 stars to inside 1 star. Tunney now maintaining control. He seems to have settled down quite a bit. It's going to be another potential knockdown as another 3-punch combination gets through. And chin check from McCarty. He needs a 3 or 4 better to stay up. He shakes that off, no problem. 6s, and again, Tunney from the outside, dancing around, doing a great job keeping McCarty at distance here. 25, going to be a possible cut as Tunney peppers a jab and across. 3 punches get through. McCarty, cut rating of 5, he's okay. On to segment 4 of round number 2, and Tunney has settled down, and he is dominating currently in the second round. And once again, from the outside, Tunney in control. 2 stars to 0. 80 going to be a miss, and McCarty looks to counter. 15 can't do it. On to segment 5 of round number 2. So McCarty, he came out blazing in the opening round. First 2 segments, he had Tunney on his heels, but Tunney has settled down, and Tunney in control from the outside still. And I rolled the wrong damn dice. 30 from the outside, and that's going to be another 3-punch salvo getting through and another potential cut. So McCarty, 9, just above his cut rating there. On to segment 6 of the second round. And doing a great job so far is Tunney, and 6. That is his 3-star number from the outside. And again, very few fighters have that. almost a potential knockdown, but 38 from the outside is going to be another 3-punch salvo connecting. And defensively, McCarty's going to add one to that, and Tunney now is battering McCarty. Competitive first round. This one's getting away from him. 2 for Tunney, no stars from the inside. 1 star for the inside for McCarty, and McCarty finally snatches back control. And unfortunately, 60, he's going to miss, and Tunney looking to counter. 11 can't do that. 1 minute left in round number 2, and Tunney looking to crank up the action here. And Matt, welcome to the chat. Yes, very, very small footprint with this game. 6 and a 5, outside 3 stars for Tunney. He has offensive control and winds up and connects with another 3-punch combination. McCarty, defensive check and 4. Once again, he adds a punch. So McCarty not helping himself defensively right now, as Tunney up to 20 punches landed. Could possibly get a TKO in this round. And again, he has control from the outside. 92 from the outside, and that's going to be a clinch. That ends the segment. 20 seconds to go in the round. So Tunney kind of tired of hitting McCarty in the head. And this is going to go no stars for either. This will be an exchange from the inside, and toe-to-toe they go. Tunney first, 17. Dances in and out, firing away. 4 punches land. It puts him at 24. McCarty looks to get off, and a sharp 3-punch combo gets through. So his first blows land at the end of the round, but a huge round for Tunney as the second round comes to a close. 24 punches landed to 3, a huge differential. And more importantly, that puts McCarty's stamina down to 35 going into the third round, and that is abysmal. So let's check the judges' scoring. With a 21 punch differential in this round, this is going to be 1 to 8 will be a 10-9 round for Tunney. Anything above that will be 10-8 for Tunney. So 10-8, and that's, yeah, well deserved. It was a dominating round. All 3 judges are going to give round 2 10-8 to Tunney, just on sheer volume of blows and domination. So we are set for round number 3 here. Fighters standing up in their corners. McCarty trying to catch his breath. It's going to be a short night for him if he doesn't start getting it going here. Here we go. 4 and a 2. Tunney from the outside, and he has 2 stars. McCarty has 1. Tunney in control. 45 from the outside. Brisk jab, snap back the head. 2 punches land, and McCarty can't do anything defensively. On to the next segment. 1 and a 2 outside, 2 stars for Tunney again. Again, he retains control. McCarty helpless on the defense currently. 94 though, that'll be a clinch. So Tunney grab him onto the third segment of round number 3. 6 and a 4, and that's going to be all Tunney from the outside. Tunney looking to fire away. 48, and 48 is going to be another double jab, snapping McCarty's head back. McCarty defensively does not affect the outcome there. Next segment, and 2 stars to 1. Tunney again from the outside. Tunney has found his range, and he's boxing McCarty's ears off currently. 53, and again, that jab, like a trip hammer, snapping McCarty's head back. His defensive roll, a 5, and his defense is going to let him down again as he adds another punch. Here we go. Tunney measuring his man. 1 star from the outside for Tunney. No stars inside for McCarty. Tunney still in control, and a possible cut. 35. Peppering the jab, followed by a cross, and McCarty cut rating of 5. He is okay. On to segment 6, however. So after that first 40 seconds, that might be McCarty's highlight of the entire fight. Outside, 2 stars for both fighters. They're going to go toe-to-toe now. And here we go. 56, and Tunney, again, a possible cut, snaps in a couple of blows. We'll come back to that cut check after McCarty gets his shots off. And 0-2, McCarty launches a smothering attack. 5 punches landed on Tunney, so McCarty rallying, but he's got to check for a cut. And 7, he is okay. On to segment 7, 1 minute to go in round number 3. An exciting exchange there. Outside, 2 stars for Tunney, and outside, no stars for McCarty. Tunney back in control. 23, and another possible cut. And from the outside, Tunney again peppering the jab, following up with a hard cross, and cut save for McCarty. 19. No problem there. His face will be busted up at some point if this keeps happening. Sixes, and again, Tunney, 3 stars to 1. He is in control from the outside. And 41, a possible knockdown. Tunney fires away another 3-punch salvo, and chin check, 3 or less. McCarty is down, and 9. He shakes that off, taking a couple of good shots early, but no problems here with been hurt. Outside, 2 stars to inside, 1 star. And this is a dominant round for Gene Tunney. 75 would have been another potential knockdown, but that's a miss. And looking to counter is McCarty. He can't end of the round. So round 3, another huge round for Gene Tunney. 18 punches landed to 5. McCarty had that one shining moment. And even more important, stamina now for McCarty is down to 17, heading into only round 4. We got to go 10, folks, and he might not make it. 13 punch differential. So 1 to 18 is 10-9 to Tunney. 19 to 20 will be another 10-8. So all 3 judges, 13-13, they're going to go 10-9 to Tunney across the board. So Tunney, at least on 2 of the judges' scorecards, pitching a shutout up to this point in time. Let's take a moment to go through the chat and just see if we have any questions. Hey, Ray, really appreciate the kind words, guys. It honestly means a lot that a lot of you are enjoying this game so much. And again, like I mentioned in the video for this, I just created this for a game I wanted to play and, have fun with, nothing more. And to see other people having fun with it is an awesome feeling as well. And I'm really committed to doing a lot for this game in the future in terms of fighter sets and adding some nice additional touches as well to hopefully make it even funner. So yeah, any questions on rules, guys, just chime in. And appreciate everyone attending this fight, by the way, and I'm real excited to give away a free copy of the game as we get through this. So let's get going. Back to round 4 we go. Sixes, and Tunney is going to pretty much start off where he left off in the last round, in control. And there we go. 3 punches get through again, and McCarty 2. McCarty actually blocks 1 that time, so somebody told him to put his gloves up between rounds. On to segment 2. And again, Tunney rolling that red 6 in the 3-star column on his ring general check there. 68, he's going to miss, however, this time, and a chance to counter for McCarty. Can't do it. 1 minute gone in the 4th round. And force for each fighter. They're going to match 2 stars each, and they're going to exchange blows toe-to-toe from the inside. Going first is Tunney, and 89 from the inside. That's going to be a clinch, and that will end the segment. No further action. And again, the clinch rule, I'm using the optional clinch rule. If the fighter with momentum rolls a clinch, no punches land. If the fighter that does not have momentum rolls a clinch after the first fighter has landed punches, it will reduce the fighter with momentum's punches landed to 1, and no knockouts, knockdowns, etc. will occur. So 2 to 3 next segment, and McCarty, both fighters, no stars from the inside. Tunney first again. 53 from the inside. Tunney misses. McCarty steps into the pocket. 96, and it's going to be a foul, but hey, at least he gets a punch in. 19 is above his foul rating, so he gets credit for a punch landed. That's it. 1s for both fighters, 2 stars on the outside for both fighters. Here we go. Tunney first again, 61, and Tunney's going to miss. Looking to get some blows off. McCarty steps up. Oh, possible knockdown, but 53 is a wild miss, and McCarty put everything he had into that, could not connect. And the fans gasped at that, whistled over Tunney's head. Inside, 2 stars. Outside, no stars. Tunney now says, enough of this. I'm taking control back. 99, we go to the event chart, folks. So here we go. First event I've had on camera in quite a while. So let's see what happens. 0-2. Oh, no. Fighter breaks arm, can't go on. Fight stopped. Rule TKO win for opponent. Gene Tunney in total control. Fractures his arm, and it is over. And that 0-2, there is only 1 in 100 chance for that roll to come up on the event chart, and Tunney rolled it. That is an extremely rare event, and it ruined Tunney's debut in the Glory Days Boxing Association Career League. This fight is over. Luther McCarty, the TKO win, even though he was getting his butt handed to him. And the end comes in segment 5 of the round. So an odd roll there. 125 is the time of the stoppage. An upset, not really an upset due to injury, but still. 152, TKO round number 5. Your winner, in much worse shape than the loser, Luther McCarty. So, wow, kind of a shocking end to this fight. Tunney was in total control, was well on his way to, at worst, a dominating decision, and the old injury bug hit. And again, there are a total of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different rare events that can only come up one time out of 100 rolls, So that's how rare that is. I've actually never had that event come up before in a fight, in testing or on camera, but it did today, so we got to go with it. Fight is over, folks. So let's get to the fun stuff. So we are going to do a drawing for a free copy of the game. And I know several people entered that already own the game. And again, like I mentioned, if you want to gift a copy of the game, awesome. You are eligible as well. And if you have the game already and perhaps win this drawing and would like or don't care to have another copy and would like to maybe give someone else a shot, that's cool too. Either way is fine. And once again, for you folks, unfortunately, that do live outside the continental United States, you will not get a printed version, but you will win a free PDF version of the game. And to make up for the fact that it is not a printed version, if you are not in the continental states, you will also win a free copy of the lightweight file PDF when that is released in a couple of months. So here we go. Let's have a drum roll. Any questions first? McCarty be like, hey, Adrian, yeah. That was a shocker. Paul, how long do you think lightweights will be available to purchase? I'm shooting it definitely by the beginning of August, but I anticipate I've started rating them. I've got about 10 rated thus far. So I should be able to knock those out and have that ready to go sometime in July. Hopefully sooner the better. And Mr. Oliver with the drum roll. Here we go. So again, my Burt Sugar Memorial cap. See everything getting shaken up here. Putting it above my head and reaching in. I have one and I have not seen it. It is in my hand. We are going to reveal it to the camera. The winner is Bill Simone. Congratulations, Bill. And I know that you have a copy of the game, so you have a copy to gift to someone if you so desire. So congratulations to you. And hopefully this will make a good gift for somebody in your circle of friends that is a boxing fan. And Bill says, draw some. Okay. And again, that's definitely an option. If that's what you want, Bill, I will again draw somebody else out of the cap. And if I don't stop losing people here. Here we go. Jack Sharkey is in the next set of heavyweights, as well as Jess Willard, Young Stribling, and some other great fighters. There will also be the official Sonny Liston and Larry Holmes cards, which I did release a PDF file of by popular demand, but they will officially be in that set as well. So our next winner, here we go. And Dale Lonsdale, you are the winner of a printed copy of Glory Days Boxing. Congratulations, Dale. And I don't believe I saw him in the chat. And I don't think he has a copy of the game either. So that's awesome. Congratulations to you, Dale. And if you watch this video, I'll also post it in the Delphi forums. He does not get a belt. He could have one of my old ones that I don't fit anymore, Alan, if that would help. Something, I guess. But Bill, shoot me an email, Bill, once you watch this video. And again, that's glorydaysgames19@yahoo.com, and get me your information, email address, and physical address, and I will get that printed copy of the game out to you. So, hey, thanks everyone for watching. This fight, unfortunately, did not go the way it looked like it would. Tunney in control again and broke his arm in the fourth round, a very fluke injury and an extremely rare one happened to come up. And it gave Luther McCarty the TKO win. We will definitely be seeing a rematch between these two. Now, what this does in the meantime is McCarty vaults up in the rankings. He will be on the cusp of getting a top 20 ranking, and Tunney will go all the way to the bottom. So there we go. Any further questions on the game? Again, if you joined late, I went over some of the strategy cards. Thus far, we have a total of 10 strategies that will be incorporated and released soon, again, as a free download. And the 5 strategies we have, the flash strategy, which again is a strategy that you can use at any time during a round in reaction to an event that occurs, such as punches landed or getting knocked down. And Matt, I know I know Rob has been asking for a card based on my boxing career. No, I'm not going to do that. Nobody wants somebody a card of somebody who lost in the very first round of his only appearance in the Utah State Golden Gloves tournament. So yeah, my card wouldn't be very good. and yeah, and again, Bill, hey, well done, Bill. That was awesome to pass on the love to somebody else. So thank you for that as well, my friend. So real quick, we'll go over the strategies and answer any further questions and then sign off. So the 5 flash strategies, rise up. Now, again, as I mentioned, each strategy, each result has an effect on the fighter that plays a strategy. So the rise up strategy can be played after a knockdown occurs. And what that does, if a fighter gets knocked down, he will automatically pass the KO check, so he is back on his feet. The negative effect is the fighter is hurt for the next 2 segments. So instead of just being hurt for the next segment, he's hurt for 2, and the opponent gets unopposed actions for both. And if I had a boxing card, what would you, Rudy P. Jabroni? Glass Joe would probably be good from the old Punch Out game. I actually had a good chin. I bled a lot. My nose bled a lot. So yeah, I'd probably have something to do with the bleeder, like a Chuck Wepner nickname or Henry Cooper. Other flash strategy, Hail Mary. The result of that, double the fighter's power segment or power rating for the next segment. Now that must be played before the roll, so you can't know that you're going to score and then double your power. You have to take, that's a gamble. So if you want to say, hey, I got to go for this knockout, I'm losing the fight late, you play the Hail Mary card, your power is doubled. However, if you miss and your opponent lands a counter shot, you have to make an automatic chin check for a knockdown save. So that is the negative effect there. Third flash strategy will be turn it up, and that is add 3 to the number of punches landed, and that's played after punches land. So if you land 2 shots and you say play and turn it up, I'm going to add 3 to that. And that is used, as I explained earlier, maybe late in the round to try and steal the round by landing more punches at the end. And the negative effect there is because you're exerting excessive energy, your stamina is reduced by an additional 5 at the end of the round. The fourth flash strategy, seize the day. And the result there is you automatically gain control of the next segment. An opponent cannot counter or block, and you have to play that before the segment starts. And that actually was based on a suggestion from someone in the Delphi forums, Tom Red's fan. So thank you for that. Incorporated that in the game. The negative effect there is you are automatically on defense the next segment and cannot counter and miss or block yourself. The fifth flash strategy is the art of deflection. And for that, the result is you can block up to 3 punches, and you play this after your opponent lands punches. You can block up to 3 punches, and if the punches landed total is reduced to 0, no knockdown or cuts can occur as no punches land. The effect, if the opponent lands punches during the next segment, you will add 4 to their total. So the effect there is you leave yourself a little bit wide open the next segment. So those are the 5 flash strategies. The round strategies, and these are played at the beginning of the round and apply to the entire round. First one is Let's Wrestle, inspired by Rob exclamation point, big wrestling fan. All toe-to-toe results on ring general check result in an automatic clinch. You would use that late in the fight where you were just looking to hang on, not get caught with something by being foolish, and kind of hug your way to a decision in the last round. The effect of that, the negative effect, if you have 3 straight clinches, you're going to be warned for holding. If there is a 4th, you get a point deducted, and a 5th, you get automatically DQ'd. So that could come back to bite you late in the fight. The second round strategy is let them go, and that is add 1 to all punches landed for the entire round. And again, that can be used to be a surge, maybe jump off to a big lead early in the fight, make a surge in the later rounds to try and get some extra blows in. The negative effect there is you cannot counter opponents' misses, and you reduce your stamina by an additional 6 at the end of the round because you're going full tilt the entire 3 minutes. The third round strategy is out with a bang, and the result there is you add 2 to power rating for the entire round. And again, that would be used late in the fight where you need a knockout to win. The negative effect there, however, is you add 2 to the fighter using the strategy, adds 2 to his chin and knockdown rating for the entire round. So he is susceptible to hitting the canvas himself. Fourth round strategy is counter offer, and that is double the counter range after an opponent misses for the entire round. So if the fighter normally has a counter range, we'll just use Tunney right here. Tunney, an excellent counter puncher. He has a counter range of 1 to 7. So if he used this strategy, his counter range would be 1 to 14 for the entire round. Now the negative, so he's guaranteed almost to land a shot if his opponent misses. Negative effect is if he has a straight regular offensive action, he would have to deduct 1 from all punches landed for the entire round. And that's based on the fact that he's playing a more cautious style and looking to counter versus initiate offense. The final strategy is keep your distance. And the result there is opponent's power is reduced to 1 for the entire round the card is used. Negative effect is the fighter using the card has their power reduced to 1 as well, and deducts 1 from all of his punches landed for the entire round. So that's another defensive option where late in the fight, you're just looking to stay on the outside, do a little Floyd Mayweather Jr., and keep the fight at distance and run your way to a decision. So those are the 10 strategies thus far, and I'll be getting those out fairly soon via PDF. I'm also working on printed versions if you want to order them printed, and those will be kind of, I'll just ask basically that you cover my printing costs, but that'll come down the road. They'll be available via free PDF first for testing and use in the game if you so want to use them. So that's it. And while we're here, again, to wrap it up, Gene Tunney in control of this fight. Entering the 4th round, had Luther McCarty on his heels, and halfway through the round, unfortunately broke his arm, could not continue, and Luther McCarty was rewarded the TKO upset victory over Tunney. And in our drawing, again, the winner of the printed copy of Glory Days Boxing, so long as he lives in the continental United States, is Dale Lonsdale. So again, get your information to me, Dale. Glory Days Games 19 at yahoo.com. So any other questions at all in the fight, in the chat that I can answer? Anything all about the game, any suggestions, anything about the rules at all? And two, before we go, I'd like to give a shout out to a couple of guys who are featuring the game prominently on their channels as well. Al, Red Sox fan, my good friend, thank you very much. He actually helped beta test the game along with Alan Shaw from across the pond. So big props to both of those guys for doing a great job in assisting me in testing the game. And also Rob exclamation point. He has done a flurry of Glory Days Boxing bouts on his channel. If you haven't seen him, he just finished an excellent trilogy between Rocky Marciano and Jack Johnson. 2 fights to 1. I won't tell you who, but all 3 were excellent fights. So check out that channel as well. And if that is it, again, thanks to everyone for joining the chat, watching the fight, and staying present for the drawing. And I'll say it again, big thank you to everybody who has supported and purchased the game thus far. Greatly, greatly appreciate it. Again, glad that some people are getting enjoyment out of this. And my commitment to you all who have the game is to continuously release fighter sets to add to your collection, and do everything I can to improve the game as time goes on with different editions there. So thank you very much, everyone, and hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. And again, if you're interested in the game, sidelinestrategy.com. The website is where you also get Payoff Pitch, which is one of the greatest baseball games out there. Joe Bryan does an exceptional job. Great customer service by Joe. RF, sorry, I already said this. Strategies. Initially, RF, the strategies will be available in PDF, and that will be a free download. The fact cards via PDF, fast action cards, if you want to use those instead of the red and white or red and blue die for the control. They will also be available PDF, and that will also be a free download. And I'll do, as I get ready to release those, I'll do a tutorial on how those work as well. So that is absolutely, both of those will be free. Printed sets possibly sometime after that, and there I basically just asked to cover the cost of printing and shipping, but more information on that as it gets closer. But expect the free PDF versions of both strategy and fat cards to be available probably by the end of this month, by the end of May. So, and yes, they'll be, I'll have them uploaded, Paul, on the Sideline Strategy website. Hey, Jake, missed an unfortunate bout for Gene Tunney. He broke his arm and got suffered a TKO loss. But yeah, Paul, they'll be available on the Sideline Strategy website, on the Glory Days Boxing Facebook group page, and also on the Delphi forums. I'll have them there as well. So have a great night, everyone. Again, thanks for joining, and much love to everyone. Thank you for your support and positive comments about the game. Appreciate you all. It means a lot to me, and we will see you next time. Have a good night, everyone.